How did people react to you when you got there?
Oh, wow. Okay, so how did they react? Like, I mean, initially when I remember the first day in China, I decided that okay, because I was short on cash. So I decided that I needed to find somewhere to so that I can be able to change or whatever it is that I can do in order to get some cash. So when I was out, I remember everyone was just staring at me. I'm like, wow, oh my Lord. This was just like, do I need to go back in or something? But how they reacted, like it was the first they were seeing a Black person.
Everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sandy Heron. If you're new here, a special welcome to you. And if you are one of the original subscribers, I'm very happy to see you again. Now, there is a saying that wherever you go in the world, there will be a Jamaican. So for this one little country within the Caribbean that has approximately 2.9 million people, the question is, how is it that we find ourselves all over the world? Now, in today's video, I am connecting with someone in, can you guess? China, Shenzhen. I hope I said that right. So today we are connecting with Akiellia Dwyer. She's from Jamaica and she has been in China for 3 years. Well, almost 3 years. So today she is on the channel to share with us her beautiful journey. I want to know, as I'm sure you're curious as well, why is it that she took herself all the way from the land of wood and water with jerk chicken and ackee and sawfish and patty to go all the way to this Asian territory? Welcome, Akiellia.
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you so much for having me on your platform and giving others the opportunity to learn more about my journey and how it is that they too can also transition to China if it is that they so desire.
Wow, man, why China, Akiellia?
Why China? Okay, to be honest, China was definitely not on my radar in regards to a place that I would want to visit, let alone live for so long. But sometimes in life, when it's not what we want, to be honest, it's what God says. So if God says here, then that's where I'm going to be. So what really happened is I was introduced to this opportunity by my brother. He basically got an email from a recruiting company at the University of Technology, and he forwarded that email to me. And I was like, this seems like a very good opportunity. Like the benefits that they were offering were amazing. And I basically saw where I could be able to accomplish all my dreams. I saw where I could be able to further my business, because as you all know, China is the manufacturing hub. So what better place to be than for me to be able to have my business here in China? So when I got that email and I thought about coming here, I basically was just it was just I was elated, to be honest. I was happy about the entire process up until I actually started the process, that is. Um, my journey was a bit different from others because initially, because my process was taking longer than the usual, I actually packed to go to the US. However, I still walked, yes. So I still walked with my essentials to say, okay, just in the event that I'm to get the call while being in the US to come to China, I walk with those stuff. So some of the items that I walked with were like my laptop, because we were told that okay, being an English teacher, you're definitely going to need to do lesson plans. So a laptop is essential. I was to walk with a USB, but unfortunately, I didn't get the opportunity to do that. But separate and apart from that, a laptop I walked with. I walked with my professional clothes. Yes. Some goodies from Jamaica, like my Lasco. I'm a Lasco girl, so I don't know if you watch my video, you will see where I got some goodies from home, and Lasco was a part of it. So I walked with some of those. I also walked with my crackers, and basically that was just it.
No, and you're better than me, Akiellia, because when I left home, I don't think I brought enough goodies. I was saying to myself, "Listen, I am going to Japan. I am ready to eat Japanese food." I was like, I have been eating Jamaican food all my life, so I was ready to try some Japanese food. And let me tell you, when I
Oh
got
my,
to Japan and that culture shock gave me one thump,
oh Lord.
that's like a punch, right? I
Yes,
wanted a bun, a slice of bun and cheese. I wanted a patty, and
yes.
like having a better pot curry or some brownie. Those were some of the things that I longed for.
It definitely, I know what you mean. Because even the stuff that I walked with, I didn't walk with any curry at the time. I didn't walk with any curry. I didn't walk with my browning. But fortunately for me, since I've been in Jamaica, I've always been burning my sugar. So for me personally, I don't necessarily use browning. It's not really a necessity for me in regards to me when I'm cooking. So some of those things I definitely did leave, and then it didn't last long. So it lasted for like probably about 2 weeks. So there and then I'm like, oh no, I need some food. I need some Jamaican food. I need my patty. So I definitely understand that feeling, believe me.
Absolutely. Girl, I remember after getting off that plane in Tokyo and just
Yes.
looking around and seeing some place so totally new. I remember that feeling like just being so excited to experience everything new. What was it like for you on your first day when you got to China?
Oh wow. It was a mixture of feelings, to be honest, like different emotions. When I got in, because it was my first time traveling, so apart from when I went to the US, it was my first time, and I was like, whoa, look at China, the night lights. I mean, one thing where I am, Shenzhen is a city that never sleeps. Like, they're constantly, and I was going to Futian. My district was Futian at the time. So Futian was very active, it was very alive. So when I was I saw the different brands. I saw Gap. I saw Tom Ford. I saw all the different brands, and I was like, whoa, this reminds me of the US. Everyone was sleeping because when I arrived, it was night. It was probably about after 11. The scenery was beautiful. In the morning when I got out, I realized, whoa, so many people. Where? Why? The place was so busy. It was kind of frustrating at one point because at the end of the day, that's when the language barrier kicks in. Remember, I'm a Jamaican girl coming to China. I don't speak the language. So the mere fact that I don't speak the language, how am I going to communicate? Like, at the end of the day, I mean, in Jamaica, thinking about coming to China, I wasn't really thinking about that. I was just thinking about the opportunity. I was thinking about my goals. I was thinking about what I want to accomplish. So coming here, and I was like, oh, wait, I didn't think about this, like this part of it, like how am I going to communicate? And thankfully, I had like I had a Google Translator, and that's what I actually use to translate to persons if it is that I have any particular questions. I would ask them, and sometimes that too can be frustrating because when you use Google Translator, it basically translates the wrong thing, and that brings a lot of confusion and frustration when you are saying one thing and you intend another, when you are saying something and basically what is said is not what was intended to be said. So that was a bit frustrating, but overall I think I was satisfied with the decision.
Okay, I'm happy to hear that. You mentioned language barrier, and that's something that I wanted to talk to you about as well. Before I came to Japan and I heard Japanese, it sounded so foreign. When I heard someone say so, I mean, like konnichiwa is easy, that's hello. But then
Yes.
even when you're in the teacher's room and you hear like fluent Japanese, like for me, it was just like, what? But like, no, 3 years
Mm-hmm.
later, it's like my brain has gotten used to the language, spoken word, and even just looking at things like kanji it's familiar to me, no. But for you, Akiellia, you are in China, and listen, I don't even know how to say hello in Chinese, right? In that language. So again, it sounds very foreign for me. What was it like for you?
Well, it was, I think I can relate to your experience. It was like, what are you saying? Like, they say this, okay, so for us to say hello, it's ni hao.
Ni hao.
And it's a possibility that me, when I say it, if a foreigner, if a local is to hear me, they would be like, because in China they have four different tones. So because of the way you say it, sometimes you may go up, you may go down, you may go flat. It depends how you say it. So I may say it in the wrong tone, and saying a word in the wrong tone simply means that I'm saying the wrong thing. So it can be so frustrating when I'm saying a word, or if I use a translator and I say, okay, if this is, let's say for example, I'm saying what is hello in Chinese, and then it says ni ao, and I say it differently, person's gonna be like,
Yeah.
so it can be frustrating. I'm actually trying to learn right now. I know few words. I know ni hao, ni ama, shishe, which means thank you. So ni ama would mean how are you? Shishe would be thank you. And again, it's a possibility that when I say to a local, or even probably a foreigner who is fluent in Chinese, they may be saying, oh, that's not it. That's not the right tone. That's not the right way of saying it. You understand? So my way of saying it may be different, or will be wrong to the locals or persons who are fluent. So I'm definitely far off in regards to learning the language. I must admit that's very bad. That's terrible, being here for almost 3 years. But thankfully, the upcoming week, I do plan to commit to Chinese classes.
Okay, and I still admire your bravery. I mean, it says a lot that you have taken that step, that journey into the unknown, to move
Yes, thank
home to a
you.
place where, you've never been and that you knew absolutely nothing about. So even that's something that you can celebrate as you move on to learn the language more. So,
Definitely.
how did people react to you when you got there?
Oh wow. Okay, so how did they react? Like, I mean, initially when I remember the first day in China, I decided that okay, because I was short on cash. So I decided that I needed to find somewhere to so that I can be able to change or whatever it is that I can do in order to get some cash. So when I was out, I remember everyone was just staring at me. I'm like, wow, oh my Lord. This was just like, do I need to go back in or something? But how they reacted, like it was the first they were seeing a black person. It was the first they were seeing a foreigner, a black foreigner. I guess to them they may see a black person on television, or maybe in some cities, but it's very rare. So they were all staring, and they would definitely take out their phones and take a picture without even asking. So everyone would be just videoing. I guess they want to post, oh, guess what? I just saw a black foreigner. So that's how they reacted. I mean, not that they wanted to be rude. Some, because of the language barrier, it's not like they can say, can I take a picture, or not like they can say, hello, how are you, or start a conversation. So it really depends on the person, because for some are very nice, believe you me. And I am lucky, I am thankful that thus far I have only encountered some very nice people, some very nice Chinese, because based on some experiences that my fellow Jamaicans or even other foreigners experience, I must say that I am thankful and I am grateful that I am blessed enough to have a great experience thus far.
Yeah, and I'm very happy that that has been your experience. One of the things that I have come to realize is that it takes just one person to make a difference in another person's world. And especially
Definitely.
when you live abroad, just one person can come along who can just transform your experience into something so positive. So I'm happy that that has been your reality there in China, right? You mentioned people taking photos of you or doing videos while you're out. When you're traveling, let's say you're traveling to Asia, some other country in Asia, because I've been to like Vietnam and Cambodia, and I had that experience where I am at the temple or I'm somewhere else doing sightseeing, and people want to take pictures and they want to touch you and things like that. And I mean, if you're visiting for a short while, it is okay. You can give that pass. But if you live there for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and you just have to go like grocery shopping, those things can become overwhelming for me,
Definitely.
And so I just want to ask, like, when you have different situations, perhaps not that, like you've said, but other things that have caused you to have anxiety or, to cause you to feel low, how do you overcome those things?
Well, it as I will admit that it will. Sometimes it's so overwhelming. Like when you're having a bad day, it's not every day that we're humans. It's not every day that we want someone to be up in our faces, up in our face with a camera showing, taking a picture. Or sometimes you will even have persons come and they will touch your hair and be like, and maybe wondering, is it real? And I understand that they're curious, but at the end of the day, I think that sometimes try not to be too much in a person's space. Try to respect someone's privacy. How I deal with it is I just try to zone them out, to be honest. Like sometimes I will have I will be playing music, sometimes I'll just be reading, sometimes I'll just try not to look at them, because I have my days when I just want to be by myself without you being up in my face and touching. It's just can be overwhelming. So I just try to zone them out as best as possible. And sometimes what I try to do to avoid it is to stay in my apartment. I know that's not the best way to deal with it. But sometimes when I think about going out and be there, especially now with the COVID, like most times you go out, sometimes you not exactly in my district, but sometimes when you go out, persons may have their mask down. And then as soon as they see you, they put it up. Like those can be like a bit upsetting. So sometimes I just be like, okay, let me just stay in my apartment, let me just stay away. If I have to go out, I will go out. If not, then I will just stay in. But separate and apart from that, I just zone them out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally understand that. Akiellia, after almost 3 years of living abroad, of living in China, what would you say has been your biggest lesson so far?
My biggest lesson, okay, my biggest lesson is patience. I
Mm.
think my biggest lesson is patience, because after my entire process in regards to transitioning to China and being here, I realized that it requires patience. I have to be patient in whatever it is that I do, what I am doing when I'm teaching with the children, because I teach from 6 to 13 or 12, I think. And believe you me, it requires patience. And I believe that the reason why my delay to come to China was my, I believe that the reason I had a delay in regards to coming to China was because God was teaching me patience. Like, listen, you're going to come to China, you're going to deal with children. Remember, they do not speak your language, so it's going to require you to be patient with them. You're going to have to say the same thing 50 different times. You're going to you're going to go through things in which it is that it requires you to be patient for you to see the results. So I think my biggest lesson is patience, and I'm still learning as I go along. I'm still experiencing other challenges, but at the end of the day, patience is what really carry me through it.
Absolutely. All right. I want to thank you so much for being on the channel today, Akiellia. But before you go, girl, you have to teach me something in Chinese. So let's go again. But you teach me something in Chinese, and then I'll teach you something in Japanese. So let's go.
Oh
How do I say
my.
hello? How do I say hello?
Ni hao.
Ni hao.
Ni hao.
Ni hao.
Ni hao ma.
Ni hao ma.
So you say ni hao ma.
Ni hao ma.
Yeah, so you're basically saying, how are you?
Ni hao ma.
Ni hao ma.
Ni hao ma.
Yes, so how are you?
How are you? Okay.
Yes.
All right, so let's go. Let's move over to Japan. Konnichiwa.
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 Konnichiwa. Did I
Ogenki
say it right?
desu ka?
What's the next one?
Ogenki desu ka?
Okay, kidiska.
One more time. Ogenki desu ka?
Ogenki desu.
Ogenki
Ogenki
desu ka?
desu ka.
Nice. How are you? And for other people who are listening who don't know anything about our country, how do we say hello in Jamaica?
Wagwan.
Wagwan. And how do we say, how are you?
What you up to?
Where you up to? How do we say?
There are many ways.
There are many ways. How are you? Where you up to? Maybe wagwan could be like, how are you too? You're good?
Yeah, wagwan. Yeah, you're good. Yes, you're all right. Yeah.
All right. Akiellia, I want to thank you so much for sharing your journey on the channel with us today. It has been an absolute pleasure having you.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And hopefully we can do it another time.
Oh, and before you go, if persons want to learn more about Akiellia's journey, you can definitely check out her YouTube channel, and I will place a video in the cards above. Thank you so much, Akiellia, and thank you guys for watching. See you next time.
Okay, bye.